7:30. It's February 14th, 2023. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Okay, Duncan,
Here.
Berger, Dudek here, Gilman here, Christie here, all present. We were supposed to have Kyle Meisner of Revise, government website guy. His wife had emergency, go to the hospital, so you'll have to reschedule. Comments from the community for items not on the agenda. First, I have Denise Hagan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. And then you're allowed 3 minutes to say whatever you want to say.
What's the last name?
Hagan, Hagean.
You raise? Okay.
I'll give you a copy of this also. Thank you, board members, for this opportunity to speak in support of Bell River Winery. My name is Denise Hagan, and I have been a resident of Columbus Township for just over 30 years. I was pleased and surprised when I discovered Bell River Winery in March of 2022. Kudos to Columbus Township, I thought, for having the good sense to approve an innovative small business in such a unique and special location. I was even more impressed when I met the owners, Hannah and Rob Cohen. They were warm, friendly, and open about the lengthy journey they had taken to get to the opening. Much of their journey is documented in Columbus Township records, meeting minutes, permit payments, etc. When we all had to endure last year's traffic detour down Arlington due to the Gratiot Bridge construction, I was able to view the winery many times as I drove by. I noted the signs identifying the winery and an expanded parking lot. I never saw anyone attempt to park on the road at or near the winery. In visiting the winery, parking directions were clear. The tasting room and deck were very well thought out and inviting. Frequent updates from the winery on social media clearly instructed patrons to call ahead if they had a large party to ensure the township directed capacity was met. All of my observations only reinforced that the Collins and Bell River Winery were doing the very best they could to comply with any township requirements and be a good neighbor in Columbus. As Bell River Winery's first anniversary approaches, we have now learned that the township has decided that Bell River Winery is unlawfully operating and in violation of a zoning ordinance. How can this be almost a year after the winery opened? Columbus Township meeting minutes show the township was aware of the winery plan, etc., since June of 2021. If there were concerns about zoning, why weren't they raised and addressed by Columbus Township early in the approval process? I hope Columbus Township and Bell River Winery can work this out. It would be a shame for Columbus Township to lose a vibrant, unique, veteran-owned small business. It would also be a shame to lose confidence in the ability of our elected officials to manage taxpayer trust and dollars. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Your parents.
Is there somebody else that would like to speak?
I'll go next.
Okay, your name?
My name is Larry Willie, W-I-L-L-E.
Go ahead.
And I also approached this evening on behalf of Bell River Winery and its owners, Rob and Hannah Cowan. My family and friends are frequent patrons of the winery, and I've personally known Rob for about 3 years. Throughout the process of seeking the approvals and constructing the winery, Rob has shared with me the site plans and the steps undertaken to meet your requirements and those of building codes. This weekend, he shared with me the letter from the Township's law firm mandating that they cease all operations immediately or face fines and penalties. Over the last 3 years, I've come to learn that Rob is a highly conscientious individual who is diligent in following established rules and even your expectations, such as allowing no roadside parking and not disturbing the neighbors. Again, being a frequent visitor, not once have I viewed any cars parked on the road. In fact, as the previous speaker mentioned, he encourages on their Facebook page and in person that all visitors even park their cars with the headlights facing his home so as not to disturb his neighbors. He closely monitors noise of those on the deck and in the parking lot, frequently shushing patrons to avoid any disturbance for his neighbors. There's no doubt in my mind that he is a very respectful and honorable person. On the letter from your law firm, I see nothing but a twisting of facts as documented in your own meeting minutes and fabricated charges to try and put the Cowans out of business. Such things as unlawful signage, when most people unfamiliar with this location would never even notice the place because of there being nothing but a name on the building. Accusations of outdoor storage containers, which have never existed in all the time that I've been coming here. Now, having followed the winery on Facebook, I've seen numerous attacks from an anonymous person in the vicinity using different fake accounts. And the charges I see in this letter closely resemble the attacks from that person. And it makes me wonder if that individual was finally successful in applying enough pressure to get one or more of you to take this reprehensible action. Whomever is behind this should be ashamed, considering that the wine tasting room was approved by this board. Building, the deck, and the variance on the front setback were all approved at the Zoning Board of Appeals. And all permits have been approved. You approved this business and now want to take away all the time, effort, and funds that the Cowans have invested in it. Your law firm's letter indicates in bold letters that this operation is an imminent danger to the health, safety, and welfare of the inhabitants of the township. I propose that disgraceful actions such as this, essentially a reversal of your granted approvals, represent even a greater danger to the residents of Columbus Township, who will invariably question frivolous spending of their taxpayer dollars in the likelihood that this dispute gets moved into the courts. Thank you.
Would you like us to have a copy of that letter or not? Of what you just read?
You're more than welcome to have that, yeah, sure.
You have a copy or not? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there somebody else that would like to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Debbie Johnston,
Y or IE?
IE, and STON. And I really couldn't add anything more than the two previous speakers. I think they did a wonderful job. But I'd just like to say I actually live on Arlington Road. And I've lived there for almost 40 years. And I thoroughly enjoy the winery, and I was very happy when it went in. And I honestly have never seen anything as many times as I've gone up and down the road that would indicate any problem. And we do have a bar at the end of the road where they park all the way up past the cemetery. and they come down our road after they leave that bar. So I really don't understand if that has anything to do with it, and that bar has been there for the 40 years that I've been there, and as you know, much longer. And I just think this is, I don't know what precipitated this, and I'd be curious to know if there was an individual complaint from somebody on Arlington or in Columbus. But if you just drive down Columbus, well, in Columbus Township, but also specifically on Arlington Road, I could point out 5 things on my road that I would worry about. I mean, as far as looks and et cetera, and trash being left out all, you know, right now, since last night on one particular house, and many other things before I would ever get to doing anything about this wonderful winery that we've enjoyed many times with friends. And I just think it's kind of a frivolous waste of township taxpayer dollars also. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Your name, sir?
Ray Peltier. I'd like to bring a little different perspective, and excuse me, so smell like it's fuel I just given off the farm.
Is it Peltier?
Peltier, sir.
Tier. Okay, good deal.
So I think I'd like to. Sorry, I cry when I get emotional. These people have helped me keep my farm going. I own McCullen's Orchard in Cider Mill. It's a 91-year institution. It's the last orchard in cider mill in St. Clair County. It took me years to get the wine license. I was defrauded by the previous man. It took me 2 years to do it. I know. I lost $175,000 in court fighting to get mine. The wineries are a group. It's an agritourism type of thing. It's not a bar scene. If there is anything that I can ever say is that the procedures, they helped me get my wine license. How I met them is it came out on the internet that my pumpkins were stolen. All of the pumpkins from the farm, they came out, found out I'm they put a security camera for free in my orchard. They've helped me with other procedures. I think it's, I'm not sure of all the procedure. I just found this out tonight, so I left the farm. But I heard mention of parking. If you were to go to my farm, when my season's going, there's parking. You have to go through the cars, both sides of the road. My parking lot, 2 acres, is full. Both sides of the road, there's cars on both sides and nobody can care. The police are called, the police are like, so what, we have done it. And it's all goodwill, it's happiness, this is agritourism. These people are a family, they put on other events, they are a standard. I actually have problems at my farm. I sent my people this year as an example to see their winery. And I had problems because my place is old, it's rustic, I'm not like, I'm a 100-year-old farm, for God's sakes. And my people come back, oh my God, the place is just gorgeous, it's incredible, and so peaceful. And it's only not even 30 seats, 25 seats, I think, something like that. I am astounded. I need these people. I've needed these people. They've talked about heading up the 14 wineries in St. Clair County. We depend on each other. So I have a need for them to exist too. They're trying to be point person and put on a group in our 14 winery and a tour that used to be put on by the previous owner before me at McCollum's. I've been deeply troubled in some other personal things, and these people have sent people my way, helped me at my farm. And I don't know, I find it striking if someone could ever mention parking. This is a peaceful place, and if somebody's on the road, I've never seen things. They actually had me take some animals from the farm. They had thought that there was going to be a mention when they got going of some cattle. They had called me, and I left immediately that night, and he was insistent on picking up the cattle to remove them that night. I don't know what the incident was. It was kind of funny when I pulled in my Fort Gratiot neighborhood with the cattle. But they've made these tribes and their places impeccable. It's gorgeous. I have problems with my own people because they're like, oh geez, we're not Bell River Winery. No, we're an old farm. We're not gorgeous and beautiful like they are, and they're peaceful. the whole place to go there. It's everything, if someone wants to know anything about the history, look at the Facebook. There's documentation from day one, their culture, the feedback from people of the true. This is family, this is something that's needed in the community, this is agritourism, this is what keeps our townships going. And I depend on them at my darn farm. I need them myself too, so it may be a little greedy, but sorry, didn't know anything that might else be going on, but these are wonderful individuals and he's a Marine. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else would like to speak?
I'll speak.
Yes, sir. Name?
Kyle Beaver,
Excuse me?
Kyle Beaver, KYLEBEAVER. Speaking on behalf of Bell River Winery. My wife and I are local residents of the area and followed them before they even were able to open and all their delays. And more or less, we came out and we saw them on their opening weekend and they were very open and warming and just down to earth, good people to be around. There's never been any noise or parking on the road. We have been going there since before they expanded their parking lot, so patrons could not park in their driveway, but have an actual lot to park in. We just known Rob and Hannah, for the past couple of years as they were in the winery, and I haven't seen anything that has struck me as out of the norm or against any ordinances in the area. That would lead to people trying to close them down. So that's all I have to say on it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak?
Is it possible for people on Zoom to speak?
Sure.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Chris raised his hand too. That's it.
Sure, but we have one more here that wants to speak. No? Oh, go ahead. Hello, DePrez?
Hi, yes, thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the actual meeting, got stuck at work. But yes, my name is Jamie DePrey. And I have had the pleasure of attending many different occasions at the wine bar. I grew up down the road. And to add on to what everybody is already saying, aside from the amazing family atmosphere that they provide, this place is, they collaborate with other local businesses to help promote the economy. Take a look at just their Facebook alone and all the different things that they do for autism awareness. We talked about the economy already, and we did say about just those events, but they have 10 beehives already. They're doing stuff for the environment alongside of trying to have this bar. I know that the complaints that have been made are in regards to parking and noise levels, but I can personally say that we have stopped by on side-by-sides we're talking with adult people, my grandma, for example, and we were actually turned away because there were too many vehicles in the parking lot. So I know that they are very strict on the noise, and we've also been shushed because we can be a little bit loud sometimes, and we've been warned when we walked in there, hey, you guys got to keep it down. But never at any time have I ever heard the building being more than a normal talking level. They are fantastic to all of their guests. They try to make it a point to know everybody, so that way they have a personal relationship with the people that come in, so they can tell them these rules. So it's not just that you come to the establishment, but you're greeted at the door and you're saying, hey, this is who I am, this is the building that we're trying to run, and can you please maintain your voices? Can you please be respectful of the property and of the neighbors? There have been nothing but absolutely professional and friendly, and it's just a shame for them to be going through this right now. They're just fantastic people. And I think that everybody that's sitting in this room right now can attest to that. And alongside of, again, please check the Facebook comments. Everybody loves them. So I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a bad connection, but yeah, I do have a terrible connection. I just wanted to put those few things in real quick.
All right. Well,
Thank
thank you
you
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Todd? Chris?
Mine is unrelated.
I don't know.
Chris Freeman.
Chris, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
I'm gonna call you Todd now.
I don't have any.
That's a new name. I'm calling it from now on. What's up? I think that's, we should all be required to wear name tags.
Mine is unrelated to Bell River Winery, but is there anything that can be done at the intersection of Palms and Rattle Run? There was another big accident, it meant to come last month, there's a big accident there. One of my parishioners at my church was in a big accident a few years ago. They have four girls and they live in Columbus Township, they got a big accident there. Because when you're coming around that curve, if you don't slow down, even though the signs say to slow down, if you don't, you've got to whip off of Rattle Run to join traffic in Palms. Sorry, I'm the backwards. You have to whip off of Palms to join traffic onto Rattle Run. Is there nothing? I mean, can we cut down trees?
There is something that can be done, because I already got permission from the Girl Scout camp to cut another 50 feet back. Road commission never did it.
So this happened a while ago.
That was like
a long time.
5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years ago, and they never cut it.
It's a very dangerous.
And that would have given sight. So what you want to do with a situation like that is complain to the road commission about it being a sight issue.
Science issue.
Yeah, you tell them you have no line of sight.
Yep.
That's what they care about, line of sight.
I had to do that at the end of my road. There was a tree growing up in the ditch and I called and they didn't do anything. But then when I called, I said, that's a site hazard. And I always worry about the school bus.
Yeah.
And they did come and cut it down.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay.
Do they have a website or number or something that I can call?
It's a 364 number, isn't it? Is that?
But it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a letter, St. Clair County Road Commission, so it would be like
If you
FCCRC.
just Google road commission, you'll find it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay, I'll submit a blank.
It says St. Clair County, Michigan, not Illinois.
Oh. It's this road. Where are you?
Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move on.
Over here on Zoom?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
On the behalf of Bell River, and by the way, I apologize that I'm not there. I'm currently in California, out in the middle of the desert. So if there's a bad connection, I apologize.
You sound good.
Okay, fantastic. So Bell River, fantastic people, everyone on the staff, the owner, a United States Marine. And as a United States Marine myself, I can attest that we build leaders. We mold leaders. He is a fantastic leader. And in our leadership principles, one of our principles is set the example. And that is exactly what he does with his business. He sets the example for all other small businesses to follow. In fact, me and my wife are starting our own small business and he has been there to help. And I know that he's helped out a lot of other businesses. He follows the rules. It's a very, very fine establishment. Another principle that we have is to know your Marines and to look after their welfare. And he utilizes that as well. Every single patron that comes in, if he's out there, he sits down, he gets to know you. He has limits for what you're allowed to drink. If he sees anything crazy going on, he cuts you off, and he looks after everyone. And he treats everyone as his own. And I just think it's very amazing that we have someone like him out there in the community setting examples like this, whereas there's a lot of other big businesses that could care less. But he puts his heart and soul into everything that he has built. And I think that we need a lot more of that in the community.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Oh, you had your hand up and I didn't even see it. How do you like that? I'm sorry. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on. Communications. So, get the MMRA, RMA board meeting. I forgot to write on here about the communications of the road commission about the annual township meeting next Monday. And then there's another one about the limestone match program. There's a change in the program where they used to go with a 3-year average. And now they spelled out a new program, and that's on the second page.
Based on your miles of roads, correct?
Yes,
How,
Yeah.
is that how they determine the cost? I wondered why it was so, because the cost per ton is so different.
what are you saying?
Like our cost per ton is $22.51, but then Berlin is $24.54. And I just wondered how they all, why,
They're farther away from the quarry here.
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, and
Oh, I
there's how
wondered
far
how-
away they gotta haul it.
Well, I was wondering when I saw that, I wondered why there was such a discrepancy.
Yeah, because look at how cheap China's is, because they're
They're right by the dock.
Yeah, and
Mm.
Potterville, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, that, we learn something.
Yeah,
every day.
exactly. I didn't know that either.
Going out the other way. All right, well, so that's the communications. All right, approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll second.
Can you do that,
yes.
Duncan?
Yeah.
Christie, yes. Berenger
Yes.
and Gilman.
Yes.
Carried. Okay, that was for the agenda, right? All
Mhm.
right, approval of the minutes now.
Did you have anything extra? Sometimes you have changes.
Well, I just, on the second page there where the difference of opinion, I didn't know what the discussion was. I wasn't privy to any discussion between Tracy and Angie, but I just was told there was a difference of opinion and.
Well, I talked to Tracy actually about this part of the minutes and he said the same thing. He said, I didn't consider it a difference of opinion. I just thought we discussed how it worked. And that's why,
I guess just difference of opinion sounds like
like. we were
arguing, you know, almost, you know, I guess that's just
Yeah,
my opinion. So, but we have a different opinion of what it means.
All right, so I don't know what. to
It's
do.
whatever. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's whatever you
I
think,
don't,
Angie.
I don't like that. It
Okay.
says, I feel like you just said, Phoebe, it says difference of opinion. It makes it sound like,
All right, and I'm not gonna say there was a discussion, so what are we gonna say? Because I don't know that there was a discussion.
why did you think there was a difference of opinion?
And it really
Because
wasn't,
Tracy told me there was a difference of opinion.
And yet he said that just a couple days ago, yesterday, when we talked about it.
So I didn't go back and listen to the meeting. What did you say during the meeting? Did you
This
call?
is what I said during the meeting, so,
And that's what it was.
well, if that's what you said, I guess you can say, because Bruce technically said that, you know, even though it may not have
If
been
you want-
actually the
if you
case,
want to say,
you know.
if you want to, well, that is exactly what I said, but if you want to say supervisor said,
Well, and it says that
There
right
were-
there.
It does say it's.
It does say
There was
that.
a difference of
Okay.
opinion.
well,
Clerk.
supervisor said the clerk told him there was a discussion. Because because I didn't say there was a discussion, and I'm not trying to be petty, but this makes it sound like I was like part of this discussion between all of you guys, and that was my opinion of it.
Didn't she call you though, like right after it? Because she asked me,
Yeah.
then she said,
About this, about
yeah,
saying this?
yeah,
We
she
talked
was like-
about Goldie, she was not gonna write that.
she asked me and I said, I don't know. So I went and found all the contracts and said, this is the only things I show. And then she said she called you and said, hey, I can't find any paperwork stating this, like we just can't, we don't have it written down anywhere. We never discussed it. It wasn't written
Okay.
down. And so she was trying to figure out, what everybody's input was, because she didn't know what to do either. And I said, hey, this is all I have on my board, and I gave her a copy of it, and then I guess maybe you found the same thing, I don't
No,
remember.
I understand exactly what you're
Yeah.
saying, I just don't understand how that relates to this.
Okay, let's just leave it in and move on.
Right. Anybody got anything else?
I'll make a motion to approve the minute. I guess amended minutes. Supervisor's amended minutes.
Yeah.
I'll support. All right, Keelman,
Yes.
Duncan,
Well, since it said, then I'll say yes, because if you said it, you said it, but, yeah, yes.
Christie, yes. Uday,
Yes.
Berenger,
No.
treasurer report.
Ooh, I gotta approve it. It's sweating.
We have a lot of people in here.
Something, yeah, yeah.
Did you close other accounts and now it's all one account
For what?
for bank accounts? Are you closing more and more accounts?
I only closed Park last month I closed, or even earlier, because I had
So Park is now.
Park is closed. Yep, I closed that last month.
So now there's trust and agency.
There's only 3, trust, tax, and pool.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That make it harder to work with?
No, not really, plus bank statements, so, No, nothing really crazy happened on this, so. Any questions on it? On the next one, you'll notice like the new expense one, we did get the road commission money. The $89,000.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And that's
Yeah, they
where?
were very fast.
Really fast.
And that's where?
I put it in the grant
Next
account
one?
for, yep, it's in the grant. You'll see it on this one, but it was at the beginning of February that I did it, so.
Like under grant revenue?
Yep, under grant revenue. So yep, we did get that.
Good.
Yeah. That's where we are.
Oh, motion to file.
I'll make a motion to file treasurer's report.
I'll support.
Yes. Uday,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
check register. Oh, so at the beginning of the check register, you want to talk about these budget adjustments, correct?
Yeah, it's just that time of year. It's gonna be at the end of our fiscal year, and so stuff is gonna be kind of getting close. I could describe a couple of why they are over budget.
I got trouble.
So the first one for garbage, we paid, we're paying we paid a month earlier for when we started that contract, we paid, so actually we're paying 13 trash payments in this fiscal year, and that's the problem. So just how we started off at the beginning of the fiscal year, we just have one more in there. Because I think one was paid at the beginning of the year, one was at the end of the year, but it was when it was dated. I think we were still trying to figure out how we were paying it, so it ended up being one jumped into this fiscal year.
And did we pay it this month?
That's the one that we couldn't pay, yeah. And then the fuel surcharge is so high too, so that's another thing of why it's high, because we didn't budget, we only budgeted 1,500 for fuel surcharge. You know, so we haven't made a budget adjustment for that yet, so it's, everything is caught up
You know,
now.
we budgeted 1,500 for the whole year.
Yep, and it's already like, I think at
We had
10,000 or
one-
something, yeah.
1 month it was over 1,000.
Yeah, it's like 11.
So we've used up the whole cushion.
Exactly, yep, because we have that extra garbage payment that was at the very beginning of the fiscal year. And it's not like we overpaid or anything, it's just how we must have paid it at the beginning of the year. I don't know, but we just must have paid one at the beginning of the year and then, or at the end of the month and the beginning of a month or something. I don't think we had our flow going with how we were paying the garbage yet at that time, so.
We thought we were paying it current and then we were actually.
Yeah, so that's why I counted, I'm like, oh, there's 13 in there, you know, counting,
If we
yeah.
would have thought about it, we would have, but they were wanting to get paid. We should have waited till April, probably. No, we should
No,
have
we-
paid 2 in March.
We should have, something about how it happened in March, we didn't pay enough in March.
Yeah.
So that one jumped into April, yeah. So that's it for the garbage one, what the problem is. And then for the DTE, we never budgeted for the LED stuff.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so we never budgeted for that. For the
Oh,
fire contract
Hold
too.
on. So now on the DTE.
Yep.
One of them's going under parks and one of them's going under.
Cause one's the
lighting.
park lights and then one is the lighting.
Just
Yep.
Street lighting.
Yep, so we never budgeted for those two things, for the changing to LED and then for the park lighting. And then for the fire contract, they always bill us kind of wonky. They billed us for like 2 quarters in one thing. They billed us into the, if you notice, we're paying right now when we should have been paying right now at the beginning of the year, and they didn't. They billed us in April or something like that. So they billed it. So we were paying extra quarters in this.
We're paying
fiscal-
5 quarters.
Yeah, it's just how they bill us. It's like they forget to bill us sometimes or something. I don't know. But there's some quarters that ran into this fiscal year. I could even bring up,
So this
thing.
fire contract 22-23 is their fiscal year, the same as our fiscal year. So this March 31st. So the next contract will start April 1st.
What?
Well, if you look at this, it says fire contract 22-23. So is there, do you know, does our contract run through our fiscal year?
I don't know. I think our contract started in December of whatever year it started.
Oh, because this billing is October, second quarter says October.
because look at, they're billing us
Yeah.
for 2 quarters and one of the quarters, this one right
Okay,
here.
So
went
it isn't. So we're gonna
What does it say at the end of 3rd quarter? What month?
get March. So We're
March.
gonna have another.
So
3
so it's
months.
gonna be July, that must
Yeah.
be July 1st that starts.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
one, they did like this one and then the next one, it's like they billed the first one. When did we start doing Richmond? Completely?
3
So
years
that-
ago, 2-3 years ago.
Was that long ago?
Yeah.
The only Richmond?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
So.
But yeah, they billed us like a 3rd and a 4th quarter. And then, and it went into this fiscal year, so.
So we're always going to be out of sync with them.
Oh, but we can't pay 5 every month, every year.
No, we wouldn't be out of sync if we paid this one.
Next year, we would only have 3.
Get out of sync. this
You would
year.
think.
Would have thought we would have.
You can't pay more than
Well, apparently,
4 quarters.
we're paying 13 trashes. We might as well pay 5
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
fires.
Well, how many did we pay last fiscal year? Can you look at that far back? Phoebe?
Hold on, I can, I don't know if I can look back
Yeah,
for the
because
system for
we have
that.
QuickBooks.
So for fire right now, I could look at that one first. Sorry, I'm not used to Scrolling with this thing, come on, stop it. So in our budget, we had 22, yep, right there, 22,488
Left over
left. That's how much we have left in our budget.
right now.
Yes, left in our budget right now. So at the beginning of the
Right,
year,
because we've already paid 3 quarters, right? Yeah, we've already paid 3
yep, on
quarters.
331, so yeah, and he made an adjustment there
And
too.
that's why we're gonna be short, because we're paying 2 quarters again.
Yeah, so I mean, we could. I don't know how you guys want to do it, but it's just how they build us, some. Yeah, because in June, they billed us for 2. Looks like they billed us for 2 quarters. And then in October, they only billed us for 1 quarter. And then here, they're billing us for 2 quarters.
And that means.
So in June, they billed us for a quarter.
2 quarters in
quarter
June,
4 and quarter
1 quarter in October, and then we got this one now.
So that would have been the January through March.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
What's the dates on that, Joe? June of 20.
Excuse me.
June of 2022. That's when we paid 31,000 on June 8th.
So that's 2,
And then in October,
paid 1 quarter.
we paid 1 quarter. Yeah, so I think they just kind
October
of,
of 22.
so they paid 15,900 then.
And then we paid another 15,900 for the third quarter.
The third quarter, the
April?
15,900 was the one in October. The one in June was 2 quarters for 31,611.
2 and 3,
How does this bill not make sense then?
because we're paying 2 and 3.
I know, but it says
But then
October,
October, we must have paid quarter 1.
but it says
So that
October.
means that in June, we paid 3 and 4 from the previous year.
That's what it says. It says October to December, 15,900, January 1st, to March 31st, 15,900,
so
and in total 31,800.
so the one in
So is this
October
from,
must have been the July, August,
well,
September.
this is the 22-23 contract, so this wouldn't
That's
be,
that's what I
old.
was trying to figure out. Cause it says that.
this would be this year's contract. But we're saying we paid,
And we still owe another quarter. See, that's only to the 3rd quarter. So there's gonna be a 4th quarter, but
that'll
that's
be in
gonna
the
fall
next
into the next
fiscal year.
budget.
so July 1st, is that right? July 1st to September 31st should have been the first quarter,
Yep,
and we paid that?
apparently we paid just 1 quarter.
We paid that in October.
In October was just 1 quarter, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what this says. Right? This invoice says they're billing us October to December,
Yep, that's quarter 2,
second quarter.
yep. And
Well,
quarters-
July 1st to September 31st is the first quarter and we paid it. Why did we pay it in October?
What? Because they waited till the quarter was over to bill us, apparently,
Yeah,
and now they're billing ahead.
And we paid that one. That was 15,900. Right? And then in June of 22, we paid 31,800.
And that.
31,600,
Quarter
yeah.
3 and 4 of their previous budget. Which would have fallen into our new
Huh?
budget.
I don't know. I think they had never billed on time in the past anyways. We haven't really had this big of a, where it was like, ooh, because they've always been like, oh, where's the bill? And then we would get like a huge bill, I remember they've never billed consistently,
I don't understand why they can't. It's only once every 3 months, why they couldn't just send.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we could ask them to just try to be on it more, but I don't know. They give us the fire runs on time usually, so.
Is there a way you can go back and like a year or 2 and see? Have we been paying 5 and then 4 and then 3 and then 5, or how's that works out?
At the end of,
Cause I just don't wanna get double billed for a quarter that they think they already didn't get paid for.
at the end of the fiscal year for last year, it apparently we paid it 62,000 and then we paid a 15,000 was the newest one. 62,000 was the total that they brought over for that fiscal year. So, and then
See,
15,
and that should have been 4 quarters.
Yeah, you're right. Cause 15. Yeah,
62 and then a 15, but
Yeah, I think we do need to go back.
I just hate to think we're paying one twice.
and the auditor makes adjustments too. So sometimes if something carries over, he'll move it to, but I don't know. I don't know where you move that one to.
Love when they move stuff around, that's my favorite.
It's almost like they're-
Please move the money so no one knows what you did with it.
That's what they do.
Do now we want to be prepaid.
Yeah.
And that's what Adrian always says, why did they do this? And they don't tell us.
Yeah,
They
I
just,
even asked that.
yeah, she's like, what are all these numbers
I
for?
said, next time you do that, can you just sit down and explain to me and Phoebe what exactly you
Yeah.
did this? Why you did it and how you did it, but.
Well, that's for that one. I could look at garbage too, to just let you guys know. what was
Bottom line,
paid.
our budget here should only pay for 4 quarters, right?
Yeah, even if it's one from last year, that
Right.
means you'd only have 3 from this year, and then one would roll into the next year. Great. I mean, because if the one ends, like when ours starts, so it would fall into this year. So yeah,
So the March, April, and May of 2022. Did that fall
could
under
have fell into 23, but
23's budget?
sure,
Because we're,
It would be April, May, June,
yeah, however it works.
yeah.
Yeah, in April, we paid 2 trash bills. And then in June, we paid 2 trash bills. So it's kind of. Let me look at, see if I can get the breakdown of it.
So how were we so far behind?
I don't know if we were, it's just how they, is it when they weren't sending it to us and then
And then we did the post audit thing because we.
I don't know if
weren't
it
doing
was during that, but it's kind of jumping around a little bit.
I wonder, like, getting back to the fire thing, if we couldn't ask to get. I mean, we've got to pay it no matter what. What if we said we want the bill, one bill for the whole fiscal year?
Yeah, why couldn't they just give you one with dates on it?
Yeah,
Then you just send them a check.
That's a good idea. We
It's
were
not
gonna,
like the number changes.
exactly. That's actually a really good
Contract number.
idea. Yeah,
we could just do April till March 31st.
no,
Pay
I
one bill,
agree.
Because this now.
Well,
Pay this
If
one,
our fees would have to. Would their fees change though? Because if their fiscal years are different than ours, will the amounts change if they,
I don't know.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but how long is that contract for, Bruce, do you remember?
I think it runs out next year.
So
Yeah,
then,
but even if it changed, they could still bill you
So the
whatever,
difference,
15, 15, 15 and 19, or, you know,
yeah,
Okay,
you'd still know.
yeah,
It'd
okay.
have date on it that you have to
Just
pay
saying,
it,
like,
the
'cause it's probably
amount.
gonna go up, obviously,
The
you know,
22, 23 contract, and this is the 23, 24 contract.
yeah, like a portion of it or something like that,
Yeah,
couple
first
months
quarter.
or whatever, yeah, yeah.
And save all the agony. So
Yeah.
if they can't mail them on time.
So, yeah. So whatever you guys want to do with the adjustments, I'm just the messenger of it, so. Nothing I did on purpose, so.
So what are the adjustments? Where are you taking?
It's this sheet right here. This first sheet. Right here, this, it looks like this one. Oh, I had at the beginning of it. I had that and then like all the papers. So I kind of like tried to map out like what I'm doing the adjustment, you know, because last time I was showing you, oh, this is the remainder, boo, 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 you know.
You got it?
I don't know why I don't got it.
It's buried in there. They all look the same.
It's somewhere in there, okay.
So the only difference for the pooled ones is obviously we're taking it out of repairs and maintenance.
Right, show me, what are we doing?
Okay, so let me get my head straight too right now. Okay, so we're
These are the
taking,
changes over here.
yes, so if you look at all the 101s accounts,
All right, so we're taking it out of the whole
Yeah, this-
11,203 is gonna cover your whole
Yes.
thing.
yes, so that's gonna be the electrical right there, and then the contractual for the fire. So that's all pooled right there. You see that, all the 101s. All right, the 208s, that is the park. So that's gonna be the street lighting. I'm just raising them both up so we don't get like negative in the account and taking from fund balance, you know, just easier just to raise them all up so we have a good bottom number. And then
Where are we getting the money from to raise them?
we're raising them both up. We're just saying that we got more revenue because if I can't take from anything from that
Okay,
account.
okay.
And then they say I have to take from the fund balance and then they would say that it's negative and I don't, you know, it's just best to just raise them both up so we have the same bottom number, you know. So then the 14, the garbage assessment, you know, it's just, I'm raising, since we also have got more fuels, I raised the fuel surcharge and the garbage assessment up and the garbage expense in the fuel surcharge up. If you notice it from right, I showed the breakdown right here too. For the garbage one, because that one was a little confusing too. So I raised that up because we did get more fuel surcharge money too. So I raised that one up and raised that one up and raised that one up and that one up too. Otherwise, we would have to notate on there that we're taking from our fund balance if we're taking more, if we're using more expense than what we budgeted for.
Mhm.
So we could do that, you know, but just our bottom number is gonna change, you know. So we could take that route, but we just have to notate that we are taking it from our fund balance, you know, so.
And we don't have to.
And we don't, this wouldn't take it from our fund balance, it's just raising it so our bottom number is the same.
Okay,
Or we could just do one expense and then just say, notate that we are taking it from our fund balance, so. Whatever route you guys wanna do.
what do you guys wanna do?
I don't know. I've got questions on that garbage one that I just can't understand how we're negative in that account already.
So are we gonna be starting out in the hole on the new year?
No. No, and it's not like we're negative in the bank account, we're just negative in the budget part of it. It's not the actual bank account. It's not like we need money in there, you know, it's just the budgeted amount of it, because we never took into account fuel surcharge. You know, that's,
We didn't take enough in account.
yeah, definitely. So that's part of it right there. And then since one bill jumped into this fiscal year, it just wasn't accounted for correctly. We accounted for 12 of them, not 13 of them.
Not,
Yeah. So it's just making the budget look bad, but it's not actual money. It's not like, oh, we spent more money, you know, it's not like that. It's just making the bottom line look pretty, I guess, so. I tried to make it as clear as possible for you guys. I don't know if I get too much information or what, but.
I don't have the sheet, Bruce, but are you good with it?
Oh, yeah.
You can keep it.
And I think a lot had to deal with because we had a new accounting system, you know, we were all like, the new garbage, you know, I think it just, everything just didn't flow at the transition of the fiscal years maybe or something, I don't know. And then the fire contract, we'll just have to maybe go a different route, as you guys said, you know, so we don't have to deal with that part at least. So. And we got the system for garbage now too, so we shouldn't have this problem.
I really think the fire thing would make sense, just.
Yeah, just like one bill, get it over
If
with.
they want us
Yeah,
to pay for the year ahead of time, well, we know we have to pay it no matter what.
exactly, yeah.
Well, even then, how are we gonna keep track of it? Because their fiscal year is different than our fiscal year
No, that would be fine. They'll just send you a bill that says,
for all 4 quarters.
yeah, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and the date that they have to pay it and the amount.
And then so maybe they'll do if it goes, you know.
And it's not like that's a real invoice anyways. It's just like a hunk of paper they
All right,
tack down on a type.
so you're gonna discuss that with them or something, or what?
Yeah, I can let them know. Yep.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yep, I'll see if we can just try to make.
Yeah, because all they
better
have to do is
process.
put, October 1 to December 31st, payment due by January 15th,
All right, so one bill.
All
whatever.
right, motion on this budget adjustment.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget adjustments.
And we're gonna list this in the minutes somehow about what happened.
How did I do it last time? Did I put the account numbers? Yeah, I did, from here to here and.
Yep, and then I always give you guys a sheet of what I did, you know, it's always the same thing, you know, so and I put that it's approved and all that, so you guys know what movement I did. And also the budget adjustments, we're gonna need to pay things too then, you know, because these were things that
Paying them. Because.
they were not in the check register.
Yeah, they're not in there because I couldn't pay,
To approve budget adjustment and pay,
and pay invoices.
well, Marcotte.
ETE
Yep.
GE,
and Richmond Fire.
and Richmond. For a second on that?
I'll say.
We need, do you want the total of these?
Yes, well,
invoices?
I don't know, the total's not gonna really work here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely different from the,
A total's not gonna work. Because of some of them, she's just changing them and one of them.
yeah, because I went off the, so I didn't have to do the whole amount. I did just what was left in the
Oh,
budget.
but I
so.
was just saying, pay the invoices for a total of,
Oh, go ahead, what's that total?
oh, I don't know, I didn't add them up. I just.
I didn't bring my phone. I don't know why I didn't. So. Can't do it. That's, yeah, Angie's doing too, but you can double check her, because last time we all didn't add right, so. So I'll let the fire department know.
I got $80,314.18.
Yeah, what again?
80,314.18.
83, 4,
80,314.18
314 and 18 cents. 8314.10. Okay.
0.18.
0.18.
80314.18.
Okay. 8314.18. Yeah.
I'll tell you in a second. $80,314.18.
Correct. Cool.
Berenger,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
Christie, yes, Dudek,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
okay. Now, the rest of the check register. All right, so the first thing here, the EFTPS, that's the corrected amount from last month, is that right?
I had to do an amended 941 because in order to do the W-2s, there was some sort of problem, and they had told me, BSNA told me to void these checks and reissue them. And then to do my 941, well, then at the end of the year, when I went to do it, it didn't balance, and I had to do an amended return. And so I had the $74.19 was from the amended return that I had to file. So that's why I had to pay that amount, because when I filed the return, they said immediately pay it.
Immediately pay what,
The
$74?
$74.19,
I don't know where that's at. I'm talking about the 2684.22.
yeah, that's part of,
Is that the corrected one from last month?
this is the $74.19 plus the 2610.03 was the actual January one,
Okay, so then there's no February one.
not yet. I won't do February till after we approve the paychecks.
But normally there would be a
No,
February.
I always pay it after we approve the payroll. Always a month, because I can't pay that. But if we had to change a check,
So this month we don't have one,
not yet, we'll have.
but we always have one every month. And if we have, this is the same one we had last month, so. But it's just corrected. So you can't have the same one 2 months and then not have one during one of the months, because then later we're gonna end up with 2 of them in the same month.
We had 2904.58. at the beginning of October,
These
and that
two-
was it.
And these two here say, this one says, if you've got these,
This was the last.
this one here says the 26 10
That was not right.
Yeah, we minus 7420.
Okay.
We minus it from there, minus it from there. So that was 204 was the correct amount, but that would have been for the month of December. But
Right,
this is
so
for
we
the-
paid that last month, and then this is the correct
This
one.
is for
So this is
January.
not last month's corrected. All right, I got my answer.
Correct.
Okay, tell me this one now. The mobile home tax. Let me find out where I got it here. Mobile home tax, $862.50, check 3879. And then check number 3897 for the exact same amount. Is that a duplicate
no,
or
it's
twice?
twice in a row. I paid that one. I
And it's the
took
exact, it's the exact same amount?
That's about how many trailers they have in, or mobile
So
homes
does
that they
that-
have in there?
But that don't get paid every month. We pay $800 every month.
No, we don't pay. They give us money and then we have to distribute it. So we
Every
would-
month.
every single month. Yep, and so we gotta pay that to the county, we get our little portion, and then we have to pay to the county, which is state and county portion, every single month. It used to go through trust. So you didn't really see it
Okay.
until we brought our income in, but now everything's done through the pool of account.
Yeah, the
Okay.
first one was for December,
Right,
and the
so,
second one would have been January.
okay.
Yep.
But that's every month.
Every month,
And
yep.
it didn't
yep.
used to be in there, but now we're pooling it, so.
So now it's in there because we
Yep.
generate the revenue right away, we don't have to write a check or anything.
Okay, the next thing is the Stafford landscaping thing. All right, $838 for check number 3896, right?
Yep.
And then we got check number looks like 3881 for 270. That 270 is part of that 838 as a past due balance.
Where's the second one, the 200 one you were?
270 is
You know,
3881.
and that's the problem, because I assume it's already been paid, but now you're right.
So we paid it, we're 270 ahead.
Okay, okay,
So now here's the next thing is
so that's,
So what?
they plowed 3 times on December 23rd, December 24th, and December 26th. And we were closed every one of those days.
I called her up and talked.
And
to
then
her.
they salted.
I know,
too.
without being.
And we
asked.
didn't ask them. I don't imagine. Did you guys authorize that?
No, I
Okay.
called her up and I said to her. I had the contract in front of me and she said, oh, I don't know. I said, I'll send you a copy of the contract. And she said, oh, I have one here. And I said, well, right on there, Bruce signed it saying. Salt only when we call. And I said, and I read the whole thing to her and I said, you guys came out and she said, oh, well, she had like, well, they were out there doing it, so they do everybody's. And I said, but we only get salt when we call. And she said, well, the driver just assumes that everybody gets salt. And I said, no, we never had that problem last year because we had to call you when we need salt. And she said, well, I'll make a note of that and make sure the drivers know. So who knows?
Well, they knew it last year.
the year before, in the year before,
And
at
I
least a couple
also
years.
also told her,
Did you tell her we're not gonna pay it if it happens again?
well, I told her, but the
I mean,
other,
I understand they can't come out here and sweep it up and take it back.
right,
It's
I
done.
get it. I
You
get
know,
that
they
too.
did the job.
But here's my other thing. I said to her, Bruce sent you that signed contract. Why didn't he sign it and send it back to us saying he agreed to it? And then she said, oh, I didn't know we needed to do that. And I said, we do.
Every year.
And she said, I'll put that right there for him to do it. And I still haven't. No, so I'll
It's
have
not
to
like
call
there's
her.
a bunch of people we could hire for this.
Well, that's the
job.
problem.
And the chances of them having the same driver that they had a year ago are probably pretty slim too with the turnover.
Yeah, and then plowing 3 times when we were closed. We
Yeah,
weren't even open till the 27th. You know, and I plowed too, and I only plowed once during that
And
snowstorm.
here they did January 23rd and January 26th.
December.
January.
But
Here,
sometimes the dates aren't
January.
exact too. They have told us in the past, too, like, oh, well, we just write down a date, you know, like when, like the dates can be a little off too. They have told us.
Yeah.
I mean, we've called a few, we know every excuse.
I actually told them I wanted them to just stick a thing in the slot saying we plowed.
Yeah,
something.
because we were like, we didn't see you, you know, you didn't
like-
plow that day and like, oh, no, it would have been the day before. But we just wrote down that day. We're like,
Yeah,
Wow.
you know,
because I
So
was
it
writing it on my calendar.
Yeah.
to Keep track, even like cutting grass,
Yeah,
I was writing
yeah.
it, but if they cut grass, you know, on Friday when we're not here, I don't do that.
snow 3 days in a row.
No,
Mhm.
I only plowed once.
so maybe another time before that earlier,
Well,
but
maybe-
that's just.
When you talk to them,
What, Chris?
maybe they can take a picture of the lot and text it to you when they're done.
That's a good idea.
Angie tried to, hey, just put a little something in the slot when you're shoveling and
Well, but they're
they
too
did
lazy to
not.
get out of the car.
No, but they were
they're doing
shoveling
the
there.
sidewalk.
Angie tried that, we're like, hey, just put a little something in there and they never,
Yeah.
and I don't think they ever did it, you know, she's
Not-
like,
not one.
Is there any way to go back to the video of those dates?
you can only go back so far, I think, was that?
Not now, you can't.
Probably a
15
month
days.
or okay.
It's 15 days, so at the time we could have.
But we don't get the bill till after probably the 15 days is up
Yeah,
and.
they wait till 16 days.
Yeah, all right.
If y'all are in the market for, are you boxed in with these, will you have to choose these people?
No,
No, just nobody else would
No.
do it for us.
but he cuts our grass too. so-
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we use a guy that does, these lawn cutting and snow plow. We just use him for snow plow, but, we just started with him this year and he's excellent.
Oh,
he's
okay.
local.
Yeah.
Your parents use him for.
yeah, he's wonderful, really nice guy,
Super
yeah.
Nice guy.
Brett Coddington, I don't know if you guys know that name. Brett
Yeah.
Coddington, you-
Right.
Yep, yep,
So
he's from Memphis area.
Right, by the inch, so if it's 1.1 inches before, it's one price.
Brant
And
Coddington,
if it goes
my bad.
over that,
I trust him.
right.
Yeah,
I like-
They're very nice people, yeah.
And shovel as well.
But I don't know, is he too big to go? I mean, is he too busy to go over here? He's okay, all right.
I would say that
Okay.
it'd be,
Lawn mowing is his bigger business.
I wonder if we could get him for grass and the park.
He's a really nice guy,
Worth a contact. I can.
and he's
forward you-
cute
Have him
too.
call me. He comes
My
to the
mom
gas
watches him from
station
the window.
almost every day.
He's a very handsome man.
Grass cutting season.
Yeah.
But
I know, right?
Grass cutting.
I know,
If you have
we can
good
appreciate, we're like,
contact-
and he's so nice too, just a nice guy.
You want his number? I've got his number.
Well, yeah, then do that. Thank you. All right,
I never thought of him, I don't know why I never did.
I just
Yeah.
thought we had too much to do already.
That's what I thought too, kind of, I didn't know he did this around here that much.
Sure, maybe. Lawn, because I.
Cause he lives in Port, he lives in Port Huron, so,
That's his main business, lawn care, but if you're looking for a snowplower, I don't think he does much. He used to have a big. He used to have a big like Catholic church or something, but that fell through for this year, so.
well, we can, it doesn't hurt to ask and see what
Yeah,
his
we can.
prices are and everything too, you know. But just know that if we stop doing Stafford, they may not come back, so, just like, who did we have before?
Mike,
No, the lawn people,
Eminem.
Kevin's.
Kevin's, cause they wouldn't come back
Yeah.
afterwards, you know, yeah, they're,
He was old.
Yeah. oh, okay,
Really old price.
yes.
Going
But
to write
once
it
we
down,
stopped with
something
them, they
else.
wouldn't even give us a quote,
Yeah.
so.
What's the number?
Yeah, we've been very, very pleased with him.
Yeah,
He
he's-
just started this year and he does good work. He actually, the very first time he didn't quite shovel well enough, so I just reached out to him and his shovel broke. So so he said he'd get it next time, but yeah. Pretty reasonable too. Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Howard, did you get it in time?
I took a picture of you.
Okay. Cool.
My last complaint is, Superior Heating and Cooling.
That was for the filter.
I know, $80.80 for one filter.
Yeah, but we had
That's
that real,
outrageous.
that's that real big unusual one.
Well,
Yeah, remember I brought in,
Katie
It's
tried,
a year filter, that's normal.
how big is it?
It's like a accordion, like a
Yeah, it's a
accordion
big
thing.
one.
It's
Phoebe
huge.
looked up online.
I remember I looked it up last time that you guys were,
If it's an all year filter, that's fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not like.
Well, at least it's seasonal. I mean, it's like winter
So
to
it's twice a
summer
year.
kind of thing, yeah.
And then there's $540 bill for service contract. That says September 23 on it. I don't know what that means. But we didn't even agree to renew the service contract yet, so.
Well, I know, I think I gave you the contact, didn't I?
Yeah, you said to sign it. You had said sign this. And I thought, well, we usually bring it up. if
Well,
we're
I
gonna
know, I
renew it.
meant that, but I meant it had to be signed. I wrote the check, but if. I mean, that's your decision.
No, that's the whole board's decision. So, if you want to pay that, you need to. I would say, make a motion to, are you gonna renew the contract or not first? And yeah,
September.
so does our current one end and this new one start in September 23? Or did they expire last September and they just went this far into the next year, just assuming we're gonna renew it?
It seems like we talked about that not long ago and just did that contract. Doesn't it?
Find it. Got it.
Cause I don't know when the contract runs from when to when.
Well, the contract does include 1-inch filters.
Yeah.
Super elite plan
We
for
don't
two
care.
2023.
When do we pay that?
And then. Wait,
Do you have the last time we paid them to 500 and something?
oh, I could look, maybe.
Oh, I thought that was your-
Yeah, I'm sorry. Good idea. Good idea, I'll do that. I was just looking at the bill,
Oh,
because the bill has filters included in the bill.
but not that one. I think it's because.
That only was the 1-inch one.
Okay, okay. All right, so we would put that under contractual.
So they should just give us 5 1-inch filters.
Yeah, just stack them in there.
We put them together.
Is that like a HEPA filter or
That's
something?
just like a big thick one.
Okay.
They're supposed to be better. I don't know.
Hold on. That's not bad. I remember it's not
My
loading.
house is still dusty with the thick one.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to make a difference. Yeah.
Okay, let me just restart it. It's not, the program's, report's not loading. Try it again. Okay, look at it again, look at it again. Loading. Well, maybe I won't be able to look at it. It's not,
No?
it's just not loading, so I don't know what to say.
Okay, so that's all I got.
Those filters are $54 on Amazon. Yeah, they push it. Well, that should be part of the service.
Yeah, $30 labor.
Yeah. Well, the labor's included in the whatever $280 fee he charges us to come out. That's a good deal. Yeah, that's a really good deal.
I got a question on Tracy Kellick's bills. Does this mean we are current with the $1,700 bill?
I think there should be 2 of them in here this month because.
There is.
he Gave me the one like the day before a meeting. Last in January, and then he gave me one a couple days ago. So yeah, this means this is up until.
Cause this one's dated January 6th.
Right, so
That's for his monthly.
I pay the other one because he's the contract, that's. our part of
But this,
the
the one dated on 2/1 invoice 147,
Yeah,
the $1,700, that means we're all, there's no back inspections we still owe him for?
I only go off of what that bill gives me. I have no idea. I have to trust that he's.
Then what, and also,
February 1st. That's what you,
Yeah.
if
he's
that's
got
the
it.
February 1st one,
Yeah.
then up to February 1st. So
Yeah,
whatever he's done
and
this
Okay.
month.
And
since-
if you look at this printout, he's got every inspection he did on here and the date he did them.
Okay, are we paying them for the ones that say partially approved and disapproved?
Look at 5625, that said partially approved. Yeah, looks like a reinspection fee. We charged for.
And I can't find it must have been in QuickBooks for the Superior.
Oh, so that would be before March.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
right before
Okay,
March.
so then it
Yeah,
probably was for them.
yeah, because it doesn't
Yeah.
show anything, so.
So what, I don't understand what
I can't-
September 23 means on there.
That's gotta be next year.
Yeah.
That's gotta be next year.
I would think.
Why would we pay it
Oh,
now?
oh, there's a bill in June,
How much?
520. June 8th,
That'd be it.
June 8th for 520. Yep. Jeff.
Paying for September's bill.
Everybody's trying to get you to prepay.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, he charges whether it's approved or not,
Yeah,
he still charges the inspection fee.
and that one, this 9390 big hand, he has a value, and I think that has something to do with the size or the cost of the thing, because it's a
That's the
big.
new thing he
Yeah.
does. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that-
yeah, that's that new.
Anything else?
I have a question. The code enforcement, liquor enforcement one. Is that how we broke his contract up? Was 600, 605, or how did?
Yes.
It was, okay. Why did we decide 500 for liquor enforcement?
It's not
No,
for
it's
liquor
fif-
enforcement.
It's
Oh,
It's
says
ordinance enforcement for the month.
and liquor.
So it's
Oh,
code and.
liquor.
Yeah, I didn't catch that
She
earlier.
breaks it up however she breaks it up.
Needs to put a little and
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
And then we just figure out.
that's what I thought too.
Man, liquor enforcement's 500.
And I didn't realize that Tracy pays him back out on his own, so
Yeah, because he.
we paid Tracy for him and then he.
And when I do that, I have to do 600 for building, 600 for zoning. 550, or what, it's 500, 450 for code enforcement and $50 for liquor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
yeah.
that's a lot. Then you start thinking, like, we do that contract? I can't remember. So are we paying Superior now or not? For the 23?
Well, my opinion is,
We need clarifications, a contract date from when it starts and when it ends.
Yeah, it's funny, it's not even on there.
No,
not even on there. I would pull it out and table that one and.
So you want to void that one out?
Yeah, I would not do that one and I would get clarification on it. And then we'll vote on if we're gonna renew the contract or not, and then put it in.
Okay, so then we're gonna void check number.
3895.
Void 3895.
Yep.
For $540.
$40.
This will change the check register balance to.
On the last page here, Phoebe, what, why is it 51? And then it changes to.
That's the void, if you notice right
That's the
here,
voids coming out.
those are those two voids that
All right,
have.
so we're
Yep.
adding another void.
When the printer ate my check.
Oh.
So then it'll be checked.
26. So that void down there is gonna change to 1297. 62.
Oh,
and then 51, 140
62, and the new total is gonna be 49,
minus 1297.62,
8,
49, 842,
45.
45.
Forwards and checks. 38, 48.
All right,
Works checks what?
38, 48 to 3901. And,
38, 48 to 3901
and then electronic,
minus,
oh, yeah, oh God.
minus what was that? 38,
38.95.
And then how many for? You said?
For electronic, 34 to 37.
For a total of 49, 842. 145.
Did anybody make a motion?
Motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Christie, yes. Duncan.
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Geringer,
Yes.
Gilman.
Yes.
All right, we're good. Ordinance officer report, the dog ate his computer or he slipped on the grass or something. He told me that, that he dropped his computer and broke it and his report was in there and it's at the place at the IT guy getting fixed. He'll send it tomorrow.
Is there a way you could
I-
email it all to us or something?
I'm going to.
Yeah, because
I
he
told him, I
I
said,
don't like how he gets it to us late, because really, didn't we make a rule that if they don't give us a report in time that we're gonna not pay them, you know? So, and this has been consistently, and I think the ordinance is important
I
and
do
more
too.
in depth too.
I
that we
do
should-
too, and I've been fighting for it
Okay,
every month, and everybody we get don't want to do that report.
well, then maybe he shouldn't get paid, we shouldn't pay that amount then,
Yeah.
if we did use that as
I guess-
collateral,
I guess
to
that's
scare
something you
people.
have to tell Tracy because he.
I will, I'll talk to Tracy about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Did he give you any update on short? Crash it in short,
Crash it in short.
semi truck guy, the camper.
I don't know an update,
That's the one we.
except I almost hit the guy yesterday because I was driving up, crashed it. And he pulled out of this driveway right in front of me, and then he pulled in the next driveway right there. And I mean, it was like weird when, when somebody does that.
Thing was.
In fact, Jimmy Ward totaled his truck doing that.
Same with the guy next to Smokehouse.
Yeah, now on the smokehouse one, I know that he told me that the second letter's gone out and that he expects him not to answer it and that there was a ticket. I told him that I want to I've been pushing on this. I want to make sure that that flow chart gets followed. Because when we get to the other end of that, I want to be taking them to the board and saying, what do you guys want to do with this? I think that we need to follow through on that and I've been telling him and I've been pushing to get that flow chart followed. That's the whole sense of even writing one.
Okay, it just seems like they should be there on both of those at least, for sure. They've already issued the first letter. Second letter comes faster than the first one.
So next to smokehouse.
is that to the left?
yeah, we're.
Left is
That little
smokehouse. Yeah,
vacant with
yeah.
the tent and all that?
Yeah, with
Okay,
the
okay.
circus tent. Yeah,
Yeah.
With the camper and the
Yeah.
dozer and the
Okay.
tent, yeah.
he's a really nice guy, though.
Are you saying that facetiously? Because I think I
I'm
have
just
talked to
saying,
him.
if you say that, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
He's really, they're really
I
nice
think I
people,
met him. I think he was actually quite.
but they don't follow the rules.
nice.
It doesn't matter, they're personable.
I wanted to say something so bad, and it wasn't about character, it was about the Facebook post. He deletes them all.
It was good that you didn't say anything.
Yeah, I know, but you can't use the Facebook thing, glowing reviews, because he deletes all the other ones.
Now do you see how election?
Can you?
Yeah, I've got screenshots of them before he deletes them and they delete them.
You can delete some, if I posted something on your Facebook page, you
If
can
you have
delete.
it, if you have it set right.
The administrator can always,
Yeah,
Never.
because his
knew
neighbors were
that.
complaining about him.
the administrator of the
Picture the
account can always.
And then he went in and deleted it. My wife's like, oh my gosh, look at this. And before I could get my phone out and
It was
open
gone.
up his thing, she screenshotted it. And by the time I opened, it was gone. And it was like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of this guy and he's taking up my yard. All I see is headlights and people in my yard all the time. Everybody loves me.
Or
Wait a minute.
none. Assessor report.
Sure.
Go back to Brett.
Cold? No. Well, I'm hot, then I'm
That's
cold, I'm
right.
hot. That's what happens at these meetings.
It is. I just texted it to you.
Huh?
That's right now.
Yeah,
I'm not discussing.
yeah, we're just talking. They do have a really nice Valentine's Day today. They're open. Did see that.
File assessor report.
I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
All in favor? Aye, opposed? I think that was too important to vote.
We'll get this baby moving here. I'll
Risa.
make a motion to pass the summer 2023 tax collection to Risa.
I'll support.
Okay,
I don't know who did
We'll
that.
Stan do it.
okay.
Stan wins.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
This is just a motion to file for the planning commission report.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to file the planning commission report as submitted.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Okay, board of review. Meal. Sit there, well, there's nothing. All right. So. Just my opinion on this. I would have thought that the assessor. Or Michael or both of them or something would have came up with at the December board review meeting. Should have came up with. What do you guys want to have for your March meal? And then. You know, Michael could have figured out what that was gonna cost and, or in the area, you know, they want 15 sandwiches at a cost of $45. And I could have had a paper last month or the month before.
I think the thing is, we don't
To
have a
just get
system
approved.
of how we do it. So Angie mentioned it like, oh yeah, because you know, we need board approval for it. So we didn't know. So I was like, well, I'll put it on the agenda, you know, so I don't know. I guess once we need a proper procedure to do it.
Always at the last minute.
Exactly, and that was it. Yeah.
Here's something though that I've been thinking about for the last couple of days. Brett was kind of against it last year. And you know, in years past, they were here for like 8 hours. They couldn't leave. Now they're here for 6. That's really not that long. They could bring a sandwich if they wanted. And I mean, if they sent me an email requesting their menu and I figured out how much it is, it's gonna cost more to feed those 4 people for the board of review than it did what I spent for the 13 ladies that I fed on election day.
Say that again.
I said, what they want us to provide for them. We've never had somebody say, this is what I want. It was always, we got subs one day and pizza one day because they're relatively inexpensive. But now they're requesting a
Are
menu.
they 2 days?
Yeah.
Two long days?
2 6-hour days. They're not long days like they used to be.
What was their menu?
No, they want
They want
Chinese now.
Chinese.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Mike said.
they said, oh, what do you want? Let's tell Angie
No,
what
they
we request.
emailed me and
Yeah.
said, this is what.
I think
want."
to me, it makes me not want to do anything. 'cause
How
I
about
think
we
that's-
just supply you food and you're happy?
Thank you. Thank you.
And they're
There's your
getting
two options. Take a
People,
pick.
it's like,
A
they
or
feel,
B.
27.
I know, that's
Yeah.
for like any free meal. Thank you. You know?
Right. You
Thank
get paid
you.
and you get food. What a bonus.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. I agree
Simple.
completely.
I was pretty shocked.
I was it makes me not want to like
And
that
then I
turns
thought about
me-
it, you know,
opposite on that one.
and here's the thing, if we're gonna pay for their meal, then when I have to have 9 days of early voting. Are they gonna all expect to get a meal
Yeah.
every day of the 9 days of 8-hour days that they have to work? Because I have to have 9 8-hour days before an election. We're not gonna, I would never have assumed I would provide them a lunch. I would assume they'd bring their lunch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we do election day because they're here for 16 hours, but everybody does potluck, so it doesn't, I don't think I spent $100. I know I didn't spend $100 for the election.
Yeah, you didn't spend that much. If it would have been like paper products, you
Yeah.
know, so. I don't know.
What do you want to do?
I know what I want to do.
Hey, just let's do something.
PBJ.
It
you
wasn't
know?
like it was like a special dietary need. It was just they wanted Chinese.
That's what the
Chinese and
email was.
Little Caesars. We're
Email,
like, we're fine with Little Caesars, you know, but we're like,
What?
it's very different. I know.
They were fine with Little Caesars?
They wrote Little Caesars. They said
Little
Little Caesars
Caesar
and
pizza.
Chinese.
and Chinese.
Well, they only
Okay,
need
Little
one
Caesars it
pizza.
is.
I mean, how many are they gonna eat?
Exactly.
them
That's what
3
I
days.
figured. I mean,
If they ate 2 pieces apiece.
We got,
Exactly,
last year
yeah.
we got 2 of the round pizzas. Mike went and got them. And
I don't think they eat very much.
well, they got, Mike went on because they do 2 days. So the day they were there in the evening, Mike ran up like at 1 o'clock and got them subs. And he
I was
put
gonna
them,
say, oh, can you do subs one day and pizza the next and just.
that's, we've always done that. and
I would just do that.
Apparently it's not.
Is that wrong?
no, I agree.
To me, I don't.
If you're
Yeah.
feeding them,
I mean, if we want to feed them,
feeding them, it's your choice, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think you shouldn't feed them?
Well,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
Lord, I'm
whatever
just an
we-
entertainer. I'll keep that.
Well, not supposed to just. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, really, 6 hours isn't that much.
yeah, 6 hours isn't that much.
You know.
And when those ladies, and when I have to have
And we,
the 9 days, it's gonna be 8-hour days. That's what the law is requiring. I'm not expecting the township to pay for their lunch.
Do they have to be here the whole time, the board
They have
review
to be
people?
here. They have to be here.
The whole
Board
six?
review 6 hours.
Yeah,
In the building though, they have to
Yeah.
be sitting here the full 6.
yeah.
Not like
they
leave
used to
and
do,
go
they
back.
used to do
No,
it
I
in
don't know.
between times
I
for
don't know if
lunch.
that's a law or not.
It
to tell you
is.
the truth.
They have to be here. They
During
used to-
lunch,
They used to break for lunch.
because
And then-
they used to put a break for lunch.
Yeah, they used to
They
do
used
like
to.
9 to 1, and then they wouldn't take anybody from 1 to
Yeah.
2:30,
Mhm.
and then they'd start 2:30, but they still have to get 12 hours in no matter what.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So then.
But then
Seth
it's been
said-
so quiet,
Yeah.
they said, let's
I
let them
mean,
eat while they're
last
there,
year
you
in
know.
March, I think they had 4 people come
It's
out of
never
12
a lot,
hours. I think they
yeah.
had 4 people. I mean. Come on, Brett. What do you think?
Let me just make
Stepping
it,
on that landmine. Somebody else is gonna step on that one. I don't have a problem with pizza and subs. I don't think that's a big deal. We've done it before. It seems.
Yeah.
to
we
me,
have.
$50 is enough, I
Yeah.
think, you know,
I would think.
Next year, that's
50
what
is
we
like-
did.
fine,
Yeah.
you know, like you can make 50
Yeah.
work.
For both
easily.
days?
Yeah, for
$50?
both.
Total of 50.
I mean, a pizza is like $8, you know, and then that's how much more for
You can get all
subs?
crazy with a Little Caesars pizza.
Yeah.
$10.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
The Little Caesars pizza is like now 9 something, which you get 8 pieces. So that would give three of us two apiece plus even extra.
Then you guys could fight over the last piece.
Well, what about sus?
I mean,
So-
who are we feeding? Just us or Seth
Yeah.
and everybody else? I mean, what, I don't understand what you guys are
Well, why don't
getting
we-
in. Who's this for?
Well,
Just,
Diane, you're-
just the Board of Review members? Is that all you're feeding?
Board
That's all
review
we've
and
ever
Seth,
done, yeah.
It's all it's ever been, yeah.
Who has to be there by law? Seth and the three.
Yeah,
Seths don't have to be there.
yes. Well, he has to be here. If they need something, he's got to look it up.
So your menu includes how many people?
4, right?
Mhm. So I think $50.
I think 50 is more than enough.
So I'll make a motion to spend $50 for pizza and subs for Board of Review.
I'll
Um,
second.
I,
Oh, okay, so
since you're paying for it and we're eating, don't we have a say of what we want to eat?
Never have before.
Yes, I have. Some people have a dietary problem, and if you order the
Well,
sub,
if that's the case, then I guess you have to bring your own lunch because it gets pretty near impossible. On election day, I had a lady who said, I'm a vegetarian. And I said, well, if you can't find something in everything everybody's bringing, she said she'd bring her own vegetarian food.
well, on the subs, if, which I could take out, I can't have seeds, I don't want to end up in the hospital.
Did you?
At least
yeah,
you
I
could
second
order,
the motion.
at least you could order seedless buns. Right?
For sure. All right, so we have a motion, Berenger Duncan to spend $50 on meals for Board of Review March,
Or March.
right?
Mhm.
Duncan,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Christie, no. Berenger,
Yes.
carried. Cemetery cleanup.
You told me to put that on there.
So what's the plan here? I don't know. I was just told to put that on there.
I was told to put it on there too.
You know, normally before Easter, we have them go out and clean up all the dead branches so that when grass cutting starts and then take grave blankets off.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to have Matt do that because last year we used Stafford.
I
But
want
we
to
have
use
Matt.
Matt.
Yeah. we
I
have
think Matt, I personally think Matt should go to the park, empty that trash, take a quick walk around and see if there's anything else that needs picked up.
Yeah.
And then go to the graveyard right after that and take a walk around and see if anything needs picked up. And he ought to do that every week.
Well, then I think that's a
During
good
like,
idea.
yeah, now
You
that it's
should-
gonna
you
be
should
not
tell him
snowing.
that because he's more than willing to do any of that.
I'll tell him that.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, I think he ought to do the spring cleanup too, but we can't do it till April 1st.
Right.
And then
But
we
then
had,
just,
Marcotte said we could have a roll-off twice a year. I don't know if it's in the contract or not, but they agreed to it.
I do
so we
remember
were talking
talking
about
yeah,
it.
you're
that.
right.
You're right.
Is the waste management one still out there?
I don't know.
I went out
I know,
there-
right?
I went out there when that tree fell. Because I was gonna call you to tell you to
wonder
have
if it is.
somebody come and do it, but I made friends with this one lady
We
who
should
was.
just paint it.
But
Right, that's
yeah,
never
that tree
heard
fell
that.
and I made friends with this
Couple
lady. I
cans of
remember.
spray
I
paint
told her
red,
about the
travel
she-
to
her
Columbus,
family went up and took it down for us.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, how do you like that? So that's what I think is Matt should do it. And I think he should do whatever he's capable of doing. And if not, then somebody got to let me know and we'll hire it out.
so here's the thing, April, he could do everything but the grave blankets.
Why can't he do that?
Well, I mean, no, he can do the grave blankets, but that can't go
After
till
April
after
1st.
first, but he could do the other stuff.
Every week.
Yeah, but just know that he would have to do that first week of April because Easter's the 9th and a lot of people called last time about wanting to put flowers on the graves for Easter.
Oh,
We
so
have
they
a
want
limited
off
time.
right
They
away.
want it cleaned
Yeah.
up so they can put
Okay,
fresh.
all right. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
see an issue with that.
Okay,
That's how I think we should
I
deal
think
with
it's a
it.
good idea. He's
All
very, he's very willing to do anything.
And then the next one is the road commission activity. I just put that in there, because that's the final one for 2022. of what stuff we did, what ditching we did, what limestone we did, you know, and then any emergency work. It just shows what all our expenditures were.
Just an FYI.
Yep.
Okay.
Next,
Was
Tracy's
Tracy's
thing
thing
isn't
supposed
on
to be
here.
in here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tracy's thing isn't in here.
oh,
I didn't even notice that.
well, you know what?
No, I mean,
Well,
it's
it's
not
Not
on
on
the
the
agenda.
agenda.
I corrected the agenda, but I must not have printed them all.
Oh.
Well, this was a late thing that came in to me.
Well, it could have been talked about during the ordinance thing and we didn't even
All right, you want to go back and
talk
talk
about
about it?
the
in the
ordinance, you
thing?
know,
We can write it in the ordinance. thing.
that would be fine. Yeah.
All right, so. If you read it, it just speaks for itself. So what he's saying is, all the blueprints that we have down in the basement and folded up in file cabinets and all that. He's got a big giant, scanner that can take those things and scan them into a document that'll fit in the computer.
The thing is, there's so many downstairs for one thing, and it kind of got brought up because a resident wanted to look at her blueprints. We had to find them, and you know, finally we found them, but she can't take them at all because we have to keep
I
our
think it's a
physical.
great idea.
We had to keep the copy somehow at the township,
Yeah.
you know.
We can't
So they said
release
it would have been nicer if they had a PDF version of it and then they could email it to people or, you know, it's
And-
permanent on our thing, you
He's
know.
got 500 documents.
So that's how he came to this
500
conclusion.
documents a month, and we asked him yesterday, and it's per
Per
sheet.
page.
So if a blueprint has 10 pages, it's 10.
He says usually they're only 3 to 5 pages, but he says commercials are, commercial, there's not a lot, are like
Some of those
10.
Newer ones are big.
Okay, he told me 3 to 5, but he told us that the scanner costs $6,000 and he's trying to just recoup some money. But when Angie and I did some figuring, we'd be paying like $11,000 to get this stuff done, you know,
Who?
With him.
with him. Like if we were
If we
to,
did the 500 documents a month for 3 years, because he said he thinks it'll take 3 years, so you multiply $325 by 36 months.
Multiply 500 times 36.
No.
You think we got that many documents downstairs?
Well, a blueprint, if it has 5 pages. I mean, I don't know how many we have. There's a lot. There's file cabinets filled down there. We don't know how
I don't
many,
know.
but. I know, that's the thing. It's kind of a crapshoot. You don't know, but
I don't know.
he
I,
paid $6,000 for the machine.
yeah.
Oh. And we're buying it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get it done. It is
You're right,
expensive
we are.
though.
That's what, so to do that, he has to take the files from here to his home,
Oh, you know,
scan them.
that's a good
But
point.
but the owner of the home can't come in and take it to scan it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
You're right.
Shady.
because he's
Yeah.
he says he's gonna take the staples out, scan it, and then put everything on a PDF. And I asked him yesterday, so when you scan that in, if I go in and I say, hey, I want the blueprints for my house, you're gonna be able to go into the BSNA and bring that up, and I'm gonna be able to see my blueprints, and he said, yes.
He also said it's nice for, you know, obviously in the city, it would be nice for fires. If they can look at a blueprint of a house, like if there's like a business, you know, to know how to,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that doesn't
obviously, we're
apply
not gonna
to
have
us.
that as much, you know,
That's
because
not
we're
gonna apply
a
to us.
resident, but he did say it is nice for
But-
fire departments too. So,
But you do have a valid point there, Brett, if we're not letting people take them out of the house, but we're gonna let him take them home, is that something we should be thinking about?
and then he said he was
He's
gonna
not-
stack them
I
and let
know.
people come and grab theirs once we were done.
Oh, really?
Scanning it.
Because he didn't say that.
He told me
It
that
says
today.
here,
Yeah.
He
says that he would have a stack and we can like,
after it's been affirmed of safe storage, your municipality can destroy the original document as it sees fit. I don't.
he just
necessarily-
said that today.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He just said if the people want it, he says it's good for a homeowner to have their blueprints,
I
you
have
know?
mine still.
So yeah, he says it's a good thing to have if they don't have them.
Don't you
know?
have yours from when you built your house, correct?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It would be nice to have this, but it is expensive. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Okay, my question is, you enter into this agreement with him. Something happens with his employment. Does he,
Then this agreement still sticks, don't it? It's a separate agreement.
And we're-
Also, there's another thing here that,
he's not personally doing it. He's having Brian, our ordinance guy, his daughter's going to do it, he said. But he told me she just got accepted to U of M, so I don't know how she's gonna be able to do 500 documents a month and go to college.
And we're not the only ones too. Cause he's offering this to other places.
okay,
Maybe we need to.
well, now look here at the run through the scanner, organize the PDFs into one file per address. And then return the thumb drive or portable drive to the clerk.
Maybe I meant building
To
clerk.
replace, yeah, I think,
You know, maybe
I think you
building
mean the
clerk.
building clerk.
So that, what's happening there, well, it would, I mean, if it's building department, the building clerk should be doing it.
Right.
But
But
that means that he's going to have the, and this is kind of a hole to me. We're dependent on him because it doesn't even say it in here. We're dependent on him to enter 500 documents a month into the BSNA program in the appropriate places.
Right.
I guess it would be
That's like,
properly notated. I guess. I don't know.
workload?
I feel like he said he was going to, where was he going to? Marine City or Marysville to talk to them
Marine City,
about doing it.
yeah.
now that's not an onerous amount to do. If you think he's working 4 days a week and you divide out 500 of them, you know, times 20 days or whatever it is, you know. What, 40 documents a day or something like that, right?
And then-
I don't know exactly, but.
And then my other question, now that you brought that up, is, so when that scanner, how is, it's gotta go onto a thumb drive or a flash drive or something, and then put into, like, say, Justin's computer, and Justin has to upload it into BSNA, right?
Correct,
So Justin's still doing a lot of the work.
per address.
Yeah.
Right.
That all has to be going
Yeah,
all to the right addresses,
yeah.
and it'll become part of that address's file.
Cause he did one today. I didn't have a chance to look at it, but he did. The one we talked about today.
So I mean, if he's proficient, doing 35 a day, I don't know how long it would take to do one off of that. But
So,
that's,
if
that's
we
something
have-
to consider.
What's the crash pickup count? 13?
1370.
70.
Okay, so
Something.
1370 and each one has 3. That's, call it 4,000, 4,100 pages.
There's more houses than that, isn't there?
I know, but if you figure it's 500 a
Well,
month,
that's
only.
houses. It wouldn't be buildings, it wouldn't be barns, you know. But it's per address too, so,
Oh, see, yeah, that's what I was saying.
yeah.
18,000 documents is what we're talking.
Yeah.
And that's if we even had the blueprints of the houses, you know, on top of it, you know, cause
What's the
really,
next one? How many have them down there, I wonder?
yeah, 'cause you gotta understand, it's gonna be like
Well, that's what he's guessing, that there's.
1990 on probably or something like that, you know.
No, they're
1,000?
there because my house was built before 90 and it's.
Yeah, where's it
Okay,
say?
so maybe
When the
80,
township got
80
zoned,
on
what,
something?
1980?
1 to 2 years,
Yeah.
I didn't hear you
3
say
to
it.
500.
When the township got zoned. 1980, 1979 or 1980,
I
Something
don't
like
know.
that. So it's from
that's
then
when
on.
they legally had to
Yeah.
keep records. from
Okay, so it'd be
There's,
since
there's
the
a
80,
huge
okay.
file cabinet downstairs filled with blueprints, because I went, when that house burned down on Crawford, I went down and found it for them, but
Are they put away by year or by,
most of them are.
by name
Most
or?
of them are in numerical order. That's the other issue, it's by permit number, which is fine if you're in BSNA, or like I had Seth look it up in his, and he could find the permit number. But if it's not in Seth's thing,
But like you said too, if he's gonna do 500 a month. At 20 working days, that means they're scanning 25 a day. Every day. Working day, like really? I don't know if he can do that. Plus, he's doing other townships. How's he gonna possibly keep up with that workflow?
Well, how's Justin gonna
Put it in,
do it too?
right?
Tracy's gonna pay somebody to do it. So he's not gonna do it.
Yeah, but even if he hires somebody else,
Well, they gotta do 25.
right, but the thing is, like you said, then you're doing other.
Then
townships
Justin's
too.
gotta put 25 a day in.
I don't think it would be that hard for Justin. though.
Well,
I
it
mean,
might not. I
yeah,
mean,
just-
even if it took 10 minutes a piece, you know,
I think it would take 1 minute a piece.
well, I don't know.
You know, I mean, you go to the parcel and then you add it, and maybe 2 minutes at the most. I don't think it would be that complicated. Especially once you get your rhythm going on things, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what to
I
say.
think.
It's just something.
We gotta get something done someday, because it
Well,
really, you
You
know,
wanna table this and kind of think about
Kinda.
this and kind of get a ballpark idea of how many we have.
Could Tracy run a couple examples and then bring them in to Justin and see how long it takes him to do it?
I know he just did one, but he didn't, but to load it on the computer is not gonna be hard. It's like an attachment that you're adding to
Yeah.
one thing. That's all it is. BSNA is not gonna be hard. You know, if there's a lot of them, it may take a second, but BSNA is not that hard to attach stuff.
And there's storage space capable on a computer,
It would be server related.
on the server?
Right? Oh,
No.
because it's BSNA is a program for the building. It's not the
Right,
internet.
it would go right into BSNA. It wouldn't go on the server.
But it, yeah, well, it would be in the server too, technically.
Well, because it
Yeah,
gets saved
yeah,
by the server.
But BSNA is a program.
But it
not-
automatically gets saved. You wouldn't have to manually put it
No.
in the server.
So if all that information gets transferred in a PDF form, then does that mean whoever we use for computer services are going to charge more because there's more documents to
No,
protect? No?
no, that wouldn't affect that. Whatever program they do for security is like a blanket protection.
Okay.
What do you guys want to table it?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay.
And table it for what? To do what?
So ordinance section.
I don't know, I'd kind of like to see it done. Grab somebody's blueprint, scan it, show us what it looks like. See how long it
Yeah,
takes
I know
to
he
put it
just
in the
did
building
one,
department.
but we don't have the BSNA building on here, but I know he just did one, so. And he showed me like, oh, you know, but I was doing taxes, so.
Table for examples?
Table until the building official can give us some,
Examples.
yeah.
So you made the motion to table?
Brett did.
I'll support.
I already did.
Oh, okay.
Do you want him to come to a meeting? Cause I know he was going to Marine City meeting to do this, to show them this.
So to table for a demo, for a demonstration
Yeah.
from the building official.
I'd be interested to see how long it would take to scan a blueprint in, like, will it take, how long does it take to scan one page of a blueprint?
I don't know. When we were talking with Bruce, he was saying that there's some scanners go, you know, and goes really fast. But I don't know about the big ones, you know, I don't know.
Could ask Susk, because they bought one in Lennox.
A
They have
huge one?
Yeah,
Okay,
because Susk told me that they got.
Trustee, yes.
okay,
Duncan,
yes.
Keelman.
Yes,
Berenger,
Yes,
Dudek.
Yes.
All right,
did you say yes, Bruce?
I did, yes. Excuse me?
There's even apps on your phone, you can take a picture and it turns it into.
Oh, yeah.
Take a picture.
That's probably what he's
yes,
doing.
you can. Get a PDF picture.
Oh, yeah.
He just has the app.
There's an app for that.
How does he do it now when somebody comes? Does he take that blueprint home with him and scan it?
No, they give them PDF versions. Remember
Oh,
we
they
talked
do
about
now?
that?
Oh,
Yeah, they always give them a PDF version now.
Yeah, he's working on making everybody do it electronically.
oh, okay.
All right, we're done with that. Next is proposed fiscal policy sheet. You can scan it over, but I didn't propose any changes. I just updated it.
Do we have to adopt this today or do we do it at next meeting?
We do it at this week.
At this meeting?
Because depending on what we do, will be whatever changes have to be made in the. budget
Would affect the
before it
budget.
gets Presented.
Yep, yep.
Notice on some of these contracts, I put expiration dates on them, or if they're open contracts. That helps us all, I think, to know what's the story. So we'll be renegotiating with the assessor by the end of this year. Hopefully, they just present something that's good. We
Can,
do it.
can I just say one thing though? You've got here for, ordinance 500 and liquor 0, but it should really be, like I was telling Brett, 450. For
And then liquor
and
50.
$50
Yeah.
for liquor.
Where's liquor? Oh,
No,
wait.
Oh, liquor's up there, okay.
Up here.
All right, so you want this
50.
one to say
That's
what, 50?
$50 a month,
And this one to say 450.
right? That's $50 a month.
Per month.
KONFTEL.
That's this.
That's this thing.
Oh.
I'll make a motion to accept or I don't know, accept the 2023,
Adopt.
As
adopt,
corrected. Adopt as corrected.
adopt as corrected, the 2023, 2024 fiscal policy sheet.
I'll support.
Okay. Dudek,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Christie, yes, Duncan.
Yes.
Would you guys like to sign this? Thank you, Miss.
Did we vote yet?
No. Oh, what, yeah, we did.
Oh, that was our vote though, not
No,
all
we
in favor.
voted.
Well, we did the all
Yeah,
in
we
favor.
all-
Did we do all in favor too?
I called them all
Did the
first.
roll call.
And then we don't do all in favor?
No,
Afterwards?
we did a roll.
So we do the roll call, we don't do both, okay. That would defeat the purpose
Uh-oh.
anyways.
We did the roll call and we're
I would say
all
yes
signed.
and I'll say no.
I think it's time to wind things up.
All right. I gotta go home.
I'm just- Get through the easy ones.
Sorry.
Oh, this one.
Oh, goodness
Hey,
gracious.
hey, now.
Stop throwing stuff at Todd.
Yeah. Sit down, Todd.
Oh, that's Todd is a trouble.
Throw them away. They're both gone.
I don't think we have one in here.
Okay. Next, we're on the budget draft. I did them separately and then I did them all together to make sure that I was always in the plus. And some of them are not in the plus by much, but I'm expecting you'll give me opening balances
Yes,
and then.
yeah, I was noticing that too,
That I'm
yeah.
gonna need to add in there. I'm gonna
Yep.
need some opening balances for some of them, but not all of them. Like, we don't start with an opening balance on the pool one usually, but since you're putting everything in the pool now,
You know, those automatically generate when we create the budget. I remember last year,
what does?
the balances,
The opening balances?
the balances automatically generate
Because
because it's in the system, you know.
well, can you give me some close numbers?
Yeah, I don't, I'll ask them about it just to kind of wrap my head around it again.
And
I'm
then the
trying to
same
remember what
thing-
happened last
The
year.
same thing with the balances. So I put in balances off the check.
Oh, you're saying, okay,
I put them in off of the previous month of paperwork that I was working
Okay.
with. So those are a little.
yeah,
bit
because
off.
we want to see them, but yeah, I think they automatically generate later too, so I don't know, I'll ask BSNA how, and they can explain it to me again, so.
And then on election, the only election I accounted for was the February of 2024 election,
Right,
because we were usually March, but they moved it up a month.
yes, February 28th.
And then I included some paperwork in here also of what Angie supplied me and what the actual law was that passed. But just know that this law is gonna go to court. It's gonna run through the court system before they ever decide what's really gonna happen. And even though this is a proposal that passed, the actual law has not even been written.
So,
So this is you gotta pass it before we know what's in it thing.
so you budgeted nothing for me for a deputy, but you gave me $3,200 for elections. And if it ends up that it passes and it's the 9 days of early voting, we're just gonna have to do a budget adjustment.
Correct,
And.
correct. And now,
And the other thing, you and I talked about like this, all these things you underline state funded, they still haven't given us any direction on how that's gonna be.
I know that, I know that. No, I know that. This was hard for me to even
Well, you
work
saw the
on.
letter I sent to Debbie and they've got nothing.
Because we can get reimbursed,
No,
but they're still gonna have to pay out,
Yeah.
you know, for a
Yeah,
lot of things.
Yeah.
you know.
But the bad part, like I tried to tell
It
her,
doesn't show.
it doesn't show that way
In the
because they
budget,
don't, yeah.
I get it. And
And
the same thing happens. There's another thing that we get, I was thinking of it earlier. It doesn't matter, but there's another thing that we get money for later and we've already spent money in, so it doesn't
And the
show.
bad part is.
Well, the road, we just did it for the
It
road,
doesn't
you
look
know.
like you.
Or like a graveyard too, you know?
Yeah, yep, for the foundations, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, so that, like even the school elections, I have to pay for it, we get reimbursed, but that doesn't go back to elections, it just goes as revenue. But this, and the only other thing is if there's a school election, it says we may offer early voting, which I would never do.
Well, and you don't have to. You don't have to
Not
do
for non,
for a school election
right, you don't,
or
have-
any of, like if we put a millage on or
Right.
something,
it's
you
only,
don't have to do the 9 days.
right, I would
But
never do it.
The 9 day thing is, there's gonna be court cases on that because from what I was reading, townships may band together and have one township do it and 5 townships all band together and let that be the early voting
Well,
place.
when I went to that last clerk's meeting and the lady from the state was there, that was the one that's helping write the law. I asked that question, you know, we're small, and she said, you have like 4 townships that are touching each other. You can combine those 4 townships into one polling place, and then you can, like, I would only have to provide somebody to work maybe 2 or 3 days instead of 9 days or whatever. The problem is finding a universal location that'll work.
Well,
And then I'm not sure, because of course they never told you, how does that work? Do you then have to send out a postcard? That's what they used to do. If you have a different polling place, you have to send everybody a postcard saying your polling place for this election has changed. So that's the other issue, and that'll be another expense.
and I mean, there's a lot to consider
a
on
lot.
just this issue.
It's ridiculous.
This was the hardest part of the whole budget for me because, and it's probably not accurate, but it's as close as I can get for now, because there's way too much to consider
Well,
here.
like, I gave you that breakdown and it's like 60 some.
No, I know, but I mean, like,
But if it happens and they pass it and I have to have those people work, I mean,
we'll have to figure that out when we get to it. I
you know what
think.
they told me
Because-
when I called the MTA? That's the cost of doing business as a township. That was their answer.
And I was told also that townships may be able to defer to the county and let them do it. Because if you have to provide 9 days of early voting, you don't have to make it convenient for people. You know, I mean, if you think about this, if we got 6 or 8 people sitting around here for 8 hours a day, what are they gonna be doing with all that time?
I would have to have,
Are they gonna be, I mean, they could process all the absentee ballots,
they can't,
but then you don't need an AV board.
no, you can't, they can't,
Why
you can't,
can't they?
because the law will not let you open those ballots till election day.
Well,
If you
those
have,
are election days now.
no. No, it's considered early voting. It's not an absentee ballot. And they haven't explained either. Now you're,
Okay, so
are
that,
you putting it in a tabulator? And it's the last thing I read, they're not gonna total it. Well, then where do I secure those ballots?
all right, so that even makes it worse,
It does.
because
I agree.
now you're gonna have these 6 or 8 or 10
Oh, it's
people
only
or
gonna
whatever.
be 3 people.
They're gonna be just sitting around here all day while one person comes straggling in to vote.
I
Because you
agree.
got 600 absentee ballots. And
I
that,
have
and
900 absentee ballots, and I agree with you 100%.
Right.
Because on the weekend before the election, when I have to be open, the most I've ever had show up was 3 people.
so
So yeah, I have to have 3 election workers.
you need to be thinking about that and putting some of those numbers together about, like, maybe for a past couple of elections, about how many people voted and how many people voted in person and how many people voted in absentee. How many did you send out versus how many came back and stuff like that, because that's gonna help to budget the correct amount of money. How much do we really spending on supplies and how much are we gotta spend on equipment and
But see, I have like the thing with the early voting. If they.
no, I know that's an unknown. I know
But
the
if they
early voting-
mandate that, I'm stuck. I have to do it. And the same thing with the absentee. The only difference that I've read is now, and they haven't clarified it. If I think the first time I send out an application, like next January, when I send an application out and the people sign it, I never have to send an application. I'm automatically just gonna send them a ballot, which kind of scares me. Because now you've got this, you're on that permanent list that you're permanently getting a ballot. What if you're not there? You could move out of state, you can move to another city. It's,
Right, they could move in the time from when they voted to the time
Absolutely.
that the election is and then go vote again.
the one thing is, if they vote absentee and it comes back to me, that's why I have to try to input it the day it comes in, because then I'm putting it in the statewide voter file.
Yeah, so
And that'll flag that they've already voted.
this whole issue is way too
It's-
hazy.
it's-
So I erred on the caution and just
I just
accounted
hope
for that.
that whole law, everything they touted on TV that was gonna happen was already happening. They just added all this extra stuff, like the military voting.
And you know, the
absentee
people that
voting,
gotta
all
sit
that
here all day and do nothing,
They will.
they can't have their phones or nothing.
They just
But
sit
you
there.
can't have phones in the voting area, so.
Well, they've changed some of that. You never used to take, you couldn't take a selfie. Now they don't care.
And then what about food? You know,
No, that's what I said.
do we give them all a deck of cards and?
Well, that's what I said about when you said that about board of review. There's no way if you're gonna be here for 8 hours for 9 days that I would expect the township to foot that bill. It's ridiculous. Yes, election day because they're here for 16 hours,
And
but
so
it's just like a regular work day otherwise.
by then, I expect that your box will get put in. I don't even know what happened to it.
It's in the closet, but we can't use that for a voting because that's what a locked box that only the carrier and I will have.
So nobody can put anything into it.
No,
Then,
we're gonna have to,
then we maybe need to put something,
well, there's the,
over
if
that
you
slot
read that,
hole.
the state's supposed to fund that.
okay,
Because I'm thinking, but right by the front doors there where it's on camera.
Mhm.
yeah, because we can move a camera to look at it.
Yeah.
Or buy something that
Yeah.
comes with cameras. If they're gonna supply it, they should supply
Well,
it.
hopefully,
Extra
during
cameras.
COVID, they gave you a whole thing. That's how I got some of my supplies. I had gotten them to pay for it.
All right, well,
So,
so this is what I got then.
so are you going to have a preliminary draft?
I got a
I have to put
question.
the notice in the
Our
paper.
leftover ARPA money.
Oh, I didn't account for the ARPA money.
That's what I was just,
You can't,
I didn't put it in here at all. So
Okay.
you told me not to, right?
well, I don't know if you can't budget it. Obviously, we can't count it as, it's considered in some floating account right now.
'Cause
It
I
can't
did
be
want-
considered revenue until
Because I didn't budget anything.
you really could budget for it, you know? You
how
could
much do we
budget
have
for it.
left?
200,000.
I gave you guys a balance a while ago. I don't
It's
remember.
196.
I wrote it on another thing too,
It is.
but
It's
yeah.
196.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I wrote on the thing for you.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to budget something
You
for
could,
parks.
you could budget for it, you know? You could.
Well,
I
let's,
didn't. I didn't
we
budget
should budget
anything but
because
grass cut.
Mike,
parks.
We just can't count it as money until we spend it,
we
you
should,
know?
because Mike
But we
has
can
spent
count it as a
probably
budget
a
though.
week looking at porta johns. He's,
Yeah, I want to get some stuff done. I got a meeting coming up with the county parks and I want to talk to them about want to get a little help on that Spark grant because I really don't understand it. It's a lot of pages of stuff.
was that Spark grant the one that we thought we could use to put those banner poles up? For the.
Yeah, you can use it for all kinds of stuff.
I think that was the one you're thinking of was a specific one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean the one that Mike found? He found.
No, not Mike. It was that guy who brought the banners.
Yeah, yeah, but Mike told us about it. Yeah.
So we're all good here for now, I guess.
But you,
I'll talk to Wes about the ARPA thing, but I think you can budget for it.
All right, so you'll let me know.
I'll let you know. I
And
wrote
you'll-
down there for
give
the
me any
balance.
kind of maybe preliminary figures I can plug in there and come up with the actual one for
Yeah.
the hearing.
And if you want me to print it so it's more, or see what you did wrong of why it's not separated per account.
so Bruce,
Probably just like a check mark or something that you missed.
so Bruce,
You know, instead of one huge one, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Which one goes to what?
Yeah, so you know, the cell supervisor, this, you know,
these
yeah.
are hard.
The reports are really weird in
This one's
BSNA.
harder to look
Yeah.
at than.
Oh, man, I know it was.
I know the
it was hard for
reports
me to
are
just get it
really
together.
complicated. That's why I save it. And this is my report that I'm using, you know, because it's like they get
I need you
complicated.
To tell me when you'll have it available, I have to put that in the paper. The law says I have to print that and hit say when it's available for,
What, I'll have it available, whatever day it needs to be available. What's that?
what did we say, Phoebe? It has to be like 5 days before the.
Yeah,
hearing
it
or
was
something?
small.
So I'll have it. I'll have it done with
Text
that.
you or call you tomorrow, because I've got it sitting on my desk.
So as soon as she gives me figures, and then she can help me out also with, she told me how to even get this printed, because I had a hard time with it, and I did it over and over and over, and then all of a sudden it clicked, oh, that's what she meant. And then I got it. So whatever. To
A lot
break,
of clicking.
whatever to break it up
Yeah.
into departments is probably something I didn't click on.
It's probably just a check mark and I just automatically had it on, you know, did mine already. So I
Right.
didn't know, but yeah, I'll
Because
look.
I noticed that too. I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
it's all one
they're
thing.
really, they can be very in-depth sometimes. It's like,
All right, so
but yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, this is just an FYI then.
it's just,
Okay, then I'll talk to you about what day you'll have it available. I was hoping to get, maybe put it in the paper tomorrow, but if not, I can do it the next.
Why
week.
don't you just
I'll
do
put it-
the meeting
you can
and
put it
then
in
minus
paper
the
for day
days.
it Needs to be in there and.
Okay, I'll look and see how many days. it is.
Yeah,
she'll
just say-
make sure She gets me the information in time.
Yeah,
to
it's
do it.
gonna be starting to
And
get
then can
slow,
you
so.
Make me a copy of those two statements those people read at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, should I put the whole
I'll
letter
mail
in
them to
there?
all of you if you want.
Should I put them in the minutes or should I
Yeah,
just
okay.
do a synopsis of it?
I'm good.
You
want me
don't
to
want it?
No.
I'm not, I don't need to put the
No,
whole letter.
no.
I'll just, but I'd like
Not
to.
the entirety of them.
Okay, I just want to, but I want to
But
read
you
it.
should read through them
Yeah. just
and,
kinda get the gist of what
and
they
get
said.
the gist of what they're talking about.
Yeah. And that guy said he
He's a
had the last
Marine.
orchard, did he?
He's a good guy.
Yeah. We don't live in your township, but we're gonna talk anyways. People love that.
Because they all basically said the same thing.
Yeah, that last guy, he said what orchard he was, but I couldn't.
McCollum.
McCollum
Columns, I thought that's who he was.
and Jetto.
Yeah, but I've been there.
Jamie Dupre lives in Ira. Thank you.
All right. So now any board discussion on other topics?
Any update on our high-speed internet service?
The guy's planning on coming to the planning commission if he turns in his paperwork. He wants to get a special land use. This is a separate guy that wants to build off of Duke's broadband. And carry it from Rattle Run and Gratiot up Rattle Run to the railroad tracks.
But only those,
No,
only they will get the internet.
but he's putting in a hub also that people around it within a certain fire will get wireless.
I think he's only doing like 5 houses. I didn't know he was doing that big.
That's what he told me.
He told me, because he was gonna do a circle, he was gonna start the elevator. And then he was gonna go down Frith and do a circle, because Matt Soma's his friend.
Oh, but he has to run the wire. All right, cable. He has to run it from
Okay,
Rattle Run and Gratiot up to the railroad track to do his hub.
really? Okay, because he was
And then he
asking,
puts in his hub and it's gonna be a wireless for however far it'll
because
reach.
then he was only gonna go like down
Yeah,
to
not
like
very
my
far.
house. I was pure coincidence, I promise you.
No,
Because I have good internet, actually. You know, I have good internet.
It
If it's
was-
more
it was
expensive, I
not a
may not choose it.
coincidence. I was there listening to her beg.
No, Mike's been begging. Mike's like, I'm just a quarter mile more.
Make a right turn.
I know.
And just so you know.
No, we're glad we have a connection with this guy because he knows
Yeah.
people, so.
But that guy, I was talking to you yesterday, you and Tracy, and you thought it was this guy. It was not. It's another guy who wants to put in a business in the Gratiot overlay, and he wanted to talk to Tracy about getting the special land use.
No, I know. I talked to him. He called me
Yeah,
and I told him, you can try, but I called Joe and asked Joe about it. And Joe said, offices only.
yeah.
The whole Gratiot overlay is only office. And I said, well, you need to bring that back to the planning commission and say, are you serious? We haven't. There's gonna be no general commercial in
This
the
guy
Gratiot
wants,
overlay?
this guy just wanted to make it into a storage yard, he told me.
Yeah,
Porta-john.
Porta-john storage yard.
Where on Gratiot? I didn't. get there.
Where that little building is, just between Bartel and,
Oh, I know where you mean.
it's a little teeny building out by the road. with
Oh,
for sale
between
sign on it.
Kroner and.
Remember,
Yeah,
Stan-
Okay,
Stan-
I always wanted to ask, what was that building?
At one time it was a resale shop, and what else was
It
it?
was a produce,
Yeah, I know, it's always vacant.
it was a produce business in
Oh, yeah.
a year or two.
And then it was a little resale,
It's small, it always looked like a little dry cleaner or something. I could-
and somebody,
Inside stand.
Well, yeah,
If I remember.
I was thinking
right,
about buying it,
back
turn it
in the
into a bar,
70s, it was a barber shop.
oh,
Really?
it might have been, I don't remember.
That'd be kind of cool right there.
You know, that would be a really good,
Dispensary.
well, no.
I saw
It's a roadside stand.
I saw the
Telling you.
first commercial.
I can sell brownies
For
and
marijuana.
what are they, gummies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Well, I have one question first, but yeah, I'll put your motion.
I'll put it down too. I'm ready to go.
Say 9:50.
I'll support.
Mine's quick. Berger. All right, I just want to say, what newspaper do we put our notices in?
Voice,
The Voice?
it has to be the most local.
Times is
newspaper.
really expensive
Yeah,
too.
we tried the Times Herald.
We looked at it one time,
So
it
you
was,
guys,
Yeah.
is
But
it
it has
okay with you guys? I want to get a subscription for The Voice and the Times Herald to come here. Because what's being said, you know, what kind of articles are being written about
The
us?
Voice used to send
Or,
us,
or,
because
We
we
used to
put
get
ads in,
them.
they
Or
used to
about
send
get-
or about other things
I
going
thought
on
we
in the
skipped the
township.
times. Did we get the
You know,
times?
if
Yeah.
there's stuff
We never did,
written,
okay.
I don't want to find out later from somebody.
Right.
You know what I
Just
mean?
know when you do go to get the voice, make sure you get the right one, because when they
North
used to,
Macomb.
yeah, well, they used to send the one that was like Anchor Bay and stuff, and it had nothing
Okay.
to do with
And
Columbus.
then,
Could you drop it off at the township when you're done with it?
no, I'll have
Yeah,
it mailed.
deliver.
Oh, they'll be, okay, cool. Yeah, you know,
Just drop that on the,
because I'm sure Mike's really would like to keep up
Yeah,
with
you
stuff
can just
too.
look
Yeah.
through there, because then we can make sure our notices are going in.
Well, they always send me a
I know
copy.
they send you a dare sheet.
No,
Right?
they send me a sheet with the notice actually taped onto the paper.
But like, we can save some of that stuff first, that proves that we did what we're supposed to do.
Actually, I saved those. I have a whole file.
Remember-
It's a good idea.
Because
like-
Springer had an issue about that.
Well, it's a good idea.
It wasn't ever put
What
in.
I heard about I heard through the grapevine, there was a thing in the paper or a complaint about us made to the Times Herald.
Well,
So
awesome.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to be able to read about
Well,
it.
you just.
what do we get in
wanna
trouble
be on
for?
top of that stuff.
Pardon?
What do we get in trouble for?
We're mean to the nicest Marine on the planet.
Is that what it was, really?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, my God.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. What's that?
Yes.
You said me?
He said, I.
Todd was completely.
What, Todd?
Sorry, Todd. Thank you, miss.
If you back-